Welcome back to the Reconnection Podcast. In our last episode, we talked about rebuilding trust after betrayal and what that actually requires from both partners. Today, we're going to talk about emotional reconnection, what it looks like, how it begins, and just as importantly, what it should not look like in the early stages. Dr. Barta is here with us again. Dr. Barta, many couples want to reconnect quickly after betrayal. Is that something they should be doing?
Well, it's really understandable that they want to reconnect quickly, right? Because they want the pain to go away. They want to get back to what's feeling normal. But emotional reconnection that happens too soon when there isn't safety actually creates more damage than healing.
Why does it feel so urgent to reconnect after betrayal?
Well, because that nervous system, right, is trying to restore that sense of safety. And for the betrayed partner, there's a deep need to feel, are we okay? Do I still matter? Is this relationship real? Is it real again? And for the struggling betrayer, there's often a desire to relieve the guilt, to reduce the tension that's going on, and to move away from the discomfort. So both partners feel pulled towards that reconnection, but it's for different reasons.
So urgency doesn't necessarily mean readiness.
Yeah, because urgency is driven by distress, not safety. And if we mistake urgency for readiness, we end up creating what feels like connection, but isn't actual repair.
So let's talk about what early reconnection should not look like.
Well, this is really important. So, what it should not look like is rushing back to physical intimacy to feel close again, right? Because a lot of times they think that was the only intimacy we had. So, if we have it again, it'll feel good, but it's actually going to cause a big reaction within the nervous system to let that type of intimacy in when the body still doesn't feel safe. The other thing it doesn't look like is minimizing what happened to reduce the tension, avoiding difficult or painful conversations, pressuring forgiveness before safety is rebuilt, or pretending things are okay when they're absolutely not, and using affection to bypass unresolved pain. These are all forms of false connection. They can create temporary relief, but they don't build safety. In fact, they often reinforce the same patterns that created the disconnection in the first place.
So it can feel like progress, but it's actually avoidance.
Yeah, exactly. It's relief, right? It's not repair. And the nervous system can feel the difference, even if we try to convince ourselves otherwise.
So, what does healthy early reconnection actually look like?
I like that. So it's much simpler than people expect, but it is much harder emotionally. So early reconnection looks like sitting with difficult conversations without leaving, being able to stay and say, this is hard, but I'm here. It's about telling the truth, even when it creates discomfort in the relationship. That's primary. You have to be honest. Allowing emotions without trying to fix the other person, without trying to fix the emotion, without trying to shut them down, right? And staying present is really, really important in witnessing the pain. And this is where the four pillars come in, right? The authenticity. We're being real about what we're feeling. The vulnerability is, well, we're allowing ourselves to be seen. Transparency is I'm not hiding or managing my partner's perception of me. And presence is I'm staying there. I'm staying emotionally engaged. So reconnection isn't about being good. It's about feeling safe enough to stay connected, even when it doesn't feel good.
So, what role does pacing play in this process?
Well, pacing is critical. Okay. So reconnection has to move at the speed of the most activated nervous system, which is usually the betrayed partners. If reconnection happens too quickly, the nervous system doesn't feel safe and the body is going to move back into protection. That is a setback of trust. Okay. So it's happening too quick. It's going to actually disturb the regaining of trust. Slower actually creates more progress. So it's really important not to rush this, right? Because what creates safety is slow, consistent, safe experiences, because that's what allows the nervous system to relearn how to connect.
So, what begins to shift when reconnection is happening in a healthy way?
Well, something very important begins to happen. The nervous system, remember, this is our unconscious being, right? It's what's guiding us inside, but it's reading everything, right? So it's starting to say, hey, wait a minute, I can be seen and still feel safe. I can express pain and not lose a connection. And I don't have to protect myself the same way anymore. And what we start to realize at that this isn't just about repairing the relationship, it's about something much deeper.
That feels like it's pointing to something underneath all of this.
Well, it is, because if reconnection feels this is difficult, the real question is why? Why is this difficult? Why does connection feel unsafe in the first place?
And that's where we're going next.
That's right. So, in the next episode, what I really want to focus on is exploring deeper what's called an intimacy disorder and how the brain and nervous system became wired for protection instead of connection.
Thank you, Dr. Barta. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Reconnection Podcast.